Well, very little about Greg is what I would call normal.
Greg probably has a touch of OCD for sure.
Yeah, I think it's an obsession.
And you have to be a little obsessive to make it just so.
Oh yeah, I'd say he's pretty obsessed with it.
Well, I just said that obsession is not a good word. Makes him sound like the Unabomber.
I don't know if it's an obsession as much as I actually kind of look at it as therapy for Greg.
Mm-hmm. He's passionate about it.
Who else would make a documentary about his Christmas tree? I mean,
An obsession. Can you define obsession?
Can you live without doing this?
No. I'm certainly passionate about it. You could say I'm borderline OCD, obsessive, but I think it's a positive thing. My name is Greg Evans. I'm 67 years old. I feel 35, so I got that going for me. And I grew up in a very dysfunctional family, like a lot of us. You know, my dad was a royal pain and my mom was emotionally disconnected, and so pretty much every week was a struggle, and being ADHD and it sort of like, there was a lot of conflict. So anyway, most of the year did not go well, but come Christmas time, for some reason, my parents were on their very best behavior. I have an older brother and 2 younger sisters, and all of us love Christmas. We celebrate Christmas, and so it's very much about friends, family, love, connection. That's what it means to me. Cindy and I have been together 17 years-ish, and yeah, we have a fantastic time together.
My first memory of Greg with the Christmas tree is when we're first dating, he's telling me about the Christmas tree and how much he loves it, and to do this little decorating project. So I'm thinking, sure, I do a tree too, and I know how much time and effort I put into it. So, okay, we'll see where this is going.
Oh, I remember the first time I went to his Christmas party and saw the tree, and my mouth just dropped, like, wow. I mean, it's like being a kid, you know, you see it and you're just like, oh my gosh.
This is a really well done, elegant tree, and it just the spectacle of it alone is worth seeing.
I've never seen a professional tree as good as this. Martha Stewart would come and see this tree and go, please show me how, Greg. I mean, that's how amazing this tree is.
you know,
Yeah.
it's a gift when you think about it. You go to his house and it's like, wow, you know, it's like Michelangelo's David. I mean, you just stand back and you're like, whoa.
This truly is, despite the lunacy to get there, this truly is an unbelievable tree. I've never seen anything like it.
Somehow this tree has developed over 20 plus years. I start thinking about this tree, I have dreams about this tree a month before I get it. I just got more and more ornaments and I got more and more into it, and I sort of realized that my favorite tree was a Fraser, which is a very big full tree, so we're talking a 12-foot tree. And what I would do is I would trim out about 1/3 of the branches. And the goal was to open up, you know, if you look at a tree, it's very tight, is to open up these layers between the branches so that you could put lights and put ornaments on the tree. And so that's how this has played out, and it's really taken on a life of its own. To last year's tree, I had 37 strings of lights, which is a little over 300 yards. Imagine putting 3 football fields of lights on a Christmas tree. I got over 700 ornaments on the tree, and then I've got this lead tinsel, which gives it this stunning silver waterfall effect. And so the tree sort of works its way down. And so I do the first 10 strings and then I do the next 10 strings of lights, and then I'll bring ornaments down and I'll bring tinsel down. And that just continues all the way down to the bottom. It's a lot of work. It takes me about 60 hours to do. But I absolutely love it, and I look forward to it every year, and I keep buying more ornaments, and I got some more lead tinsel, which feels very black market when I find it because, you know, it's sort of verboten, I think. But anyway, so yeah, that's sort of how this Christmas tree's come about, and I buy the tree the week before Thanksgiving. We have a party, a Christmas party, the 3rd Saturday of December. So I basically have this 1 month window to get this tree done. And I work on it every night. And it goes in stages, it goes in layers, and yeah, it's a hell of a lot of fun. It takes 4 of us to get it in the house. And the Christmas tree goes in this room, and it goes right in the center of the room. So it's fun in that you can come in and then you can walk all the way around the tree. We set the tree up, we drink a little champagne, and from there I start trimming. You have to trim a tree if you're going to open it up to really show off the lights and the ornaments. You have to. I have a pair of pruners in my pocket the whole time, and I'll make roughly, I've never counted it, but 2,000 plus cuts off the tree. Now most of them are little, you know, an inch or two. It's just new growth, you know, get that out. But I take out some big branches too. The nice thing about Frazier's is the shape, you know, it's really a perfect symmetry. And it's a very full tree, so you can work with what you cut and what you keep. These 2 branches, too close together. I'm going to cut this here. And now we have this wide open space. I can have an ornament all the way out at the end here. I don't have that branch coming out and getting in the way. You have a long branch like this. I like that branch here, but I don't need it to be that long. So I'm going to cut that, and now that opens up a little bit more space in here. And when the ornaments go on, it'll make even more sense, hopefully. So that's a little bit more on the trimming front. And then what I'll do, being ADHD, now I'm just ADD, I'm too old for the H part. You go up to the top of the tree and you start with the lights, and it's 1 string and every branch gets wrapped all the way down. And so it's sort of a jigsaw puzzle to figure out, you know, how to get around the tree and hit every branch. For the longest time, I was attached to the old C7 lights. Anyway, Cindy kept saying, you got to do the LEDs. And I didn't like the LEDs. And I was like, nah, and I resisted. So in 2015, I went to white LEDs. So I did it head to toe in LEDs, which is a very different look. It's very angelic, you know, it's very, Last year, I went, I gotta change this. So on this string, what I did was I took out every 5th white light and I put in a colored light. So you've got 4 white lights, 1 colored light, 4 white lights, 1 colored light. And I loved it. I thought it was just a fantastic, you know, the change up to add that drip of color to it. It can take me 45 minutes to put on 1 string of lights. And that's really stupid. But, you know, I'll be like, zzz, and then I was like, okay. And I start down this branch and I go, no, I can't get over to here. So I have to undo this, and then I go this way and I come this way. And when you do 36, 37 strings of them, at some point, you know, I get close to snapping. Basically, everywhere I go, everywhere I travel, one of the first things is like, do you have a Christmas ornament store here? Like, oh yeah, you go down here on, you know, down in Santa Fe. Every town has an ornament shop. Estes Park has a great ornament shop. I was just in Bruges, and a block from the hotel there was an ornament shop, the White Pelican, and I went in there and found 22 ornaments and met the owner, and she was fantastic. I have 11 ornament boxes. They're cardboard boxes. It's 4 trays. The top 2 trays are 5 by 5, so it's 5 ornaments by 5 ornaments, and then the bottom are 4 by 4s. And for smaller ornaments, I'll put a lot of them together. So I can do in a 5 by 5, you know, there could be 150 ornaments in there, what have you, because they're smaller. They go for the top of the tree. So I have some ornaments that are as old as I am, which mean a lot to me. And so I probably get average 25 new ones a year. I got like 75 the first year of COVID. That was a big score. So yeah, I just keep getting them. They're a blast. Some of my friends like to give me ornaments, and most don't make the tree. But some of my favorite ornaments have come from friends.
So every year for the last 5 years, we've given Greg an ornament, and miraculously, they've all made it onto the tree. Although last year's was a little bit iffy. We weren't sure it was gonna make it, but it did. And every year at the party, our favorite thing to do is go in the Christmas tree room and try to find our ornaments.
So, tinsel. I'm gonna put 8-9 strands on every branch where it'll hang freely. This stuff is so heavy. I was doing tinseling, I was probably in high school. I was tinseling the tree and my dad was sitting over there reading the paper, drinking an old fashioned, whatever. And I was just like, come on, get to work. And I took one of these and just wadded up and I just dinged him in the head. Needless to say, that didn't go over very well. The goal, I'm trying to create this three-dimensional experience where you're on the outside and you see ornaments in front of you, and then you can look in these pockets that I've created and you can see ornaments at the second layer, the third layer, the fourth layer, the fifth layer to the trunk. And so it's, you know, it's like this treasure hunt of looking through, and I mean, just look at over 700 ornaments is, yeah, it's quite an experience.
He was a very fun dad growing up. He was kind of a cool dad. I remember like growing up, I'd see, you know, I just thought that was normal. Like that's what most people's Christmas trees looked like. And then I'd go to friends' houses and be like, wait, what? That's your Christmas tree? Like it looks like you just threw everything on it and like it's not trimmed. Like where are all the spaces? Like why aren't the lights in further?
I'm obsessive about Christmas trees, and I have like very strong opinions about what Christmas trees should look like and what they shouldn't look like. And so people are like, oh, he's just you times 100.
The funny irony here is we're these two Jewish women reflecting on this Christmas tree.
I don't let people help. No, I have asked people to help with tinseling in the past, and I will let certain people do ornaments.
No, I do not get to help Greg. I'm not bitter about it.
To think that I had any way of helping him is silly, but one year he was panicking. I said, I'll come over and I'll help you. I said, what would you like me to do? He said, well, why don't you start with the tinsel? And I grabbed, I don't know, 4 or 5 of them, and I gently just tossed them over the branch that's closest to me, and tells me they all have to be even on both sides when you drop them. They have to be individually spaced apart. And I realized this tree is 8 feet in diameter. It's got 5 million branches. He's gonna do this one at a time? No wonder he's panicking. It's insane.
I think most people screw it up too. You know, like you help someone, hey, help me with the dishes. They drop the first one. You're like, all right, get the hell out of here. You know, it's like, oh, that's, so people are like, oh, tinsel? And screw that up, and I fire them. And so.
I am allowed to help. I think, don't tell Cindy. I think it's because I grew up around it, and so I sort of have a sense of, you know, what looks good and where things should go.
So the party, yeah, we just have a bunch of friends over that third Saturday, and we drink champagne and bring some food in, and you know, I mean, we have a great tribe, and it feels like an extended family to us.
So I think a lot of this is about getting people together, and that he likes getting people together, and the Christmas party is kind of the ultimate one of that.
So when people come in and see the Christmas tree, they are always, they're always in awe. They're just like, oh my gosh, we just love doing this every year. And then you get into the piece where people will say, oh, this one's the best one ever.
Oh yeah, there's always a sense of just jaw-dropping amazement when they see the tree for the first time, because it really is a very spectacular thing.
His tree gives me joy. I mean,
joy. Let's say joy.
Joy.
How about
Let's
joy?
say joy.
Joy.
Everybody's smiling, everybody's happy. You know, we're all drinking his beautiful wine. It is just open-hearted, genuine, pure joy. That's what that party is.
I would say that while the Christmas tree is really the crown jewel as you walk in.
And at some point in the evening, just about everybody goes into the Christmas tree room. And so there's plenty of opportunity to spend as much time as one would want to luxuriate in the splendidness of the Christmas tree.
The tree came out really well. We got to 45 strings of lights, 775 ornaments, tinsel, but the tree is great, and I just had a blast doing it. It's just so much fun to do this tree.
If you combine a crazy professor with Vincent van Gogh, you have the dedication.
Joyous, happy. It's a happy obsession. I mean, it taps into his creative side and gives him an outlet to create and produce this beautiful thing every year.
This is just something that he does, I think, out of pure joy.
Oh yeah. The Christmas tree is the ultimate representation of his OCD.
In the way I use obsession, it's, you know, sort of a deep love and interest and excitement. And yeah, I mean, I think he's obsessed. It's such a big part of his life, and I feel like a part of his identity, and like the appreciation and admiration he gets from it.
It's rare that you see somebody so obsessed with something and it comes out in a beautiful way like that.
I enjoy it, obviously, but it's not an obsession.